Hi, I'm just in the studio today. We're just going to do a quick little standing flow, standing stretch. So we're going to go ahead and come into our mountain pose. We're going to go ahead and start with our ankles directly underneath our hip socket. So we want to go ahead and have our feet underneath our knees, underneath our hips, reaching the top of the head up to the ceiling as the shoulders release down away from the ears. We'll go ahead and take a big inhale, reaching all the way up, exhaling, swan diving, moving into that forward fold, hinging at the hip, letting the crown of the head reach to the floor, bringing the hands to the shins, lifting halfway up, pulling the shoulders back away from the ears. We can go ahead and alternate bending knees on opposite sides, stretching through the back part of the body, through the hamstring. Just alternating from side to side. And then we'll bring it back to center. And we hinge forward at the hips again, drawing the head down towards the floor. And we reverse that swan dive, bringing the arms wide, reaching all the way up. Exhaling back into forward fold. Inhaling, half lifting up. Exhaling back to forward fold. Inhaling, sweeping wide, coming all the way up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half lifting up. Exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up. And then we'll go ahead and turn sideways on the mat. We can go ahead and take the toes pointing towards the corners of the mat, the heels pointing in. We'll inhale and reach up, exhaling down to moonflower, inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, big circle down, keeping the head lifted into sunflower. Inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, coming up, exhale, sweeping down. Reaching up, inhale, exhaling down. Coming up, and then bringing it back down. We're going to go ahead and place the hands on the inner thighs. Fingertips pointed inwards. We're going to go ahead and move through a standing cat and cow. So again, we're going to go ahead, pull the belly button into the back as we move into that cat pose, reversing the curve of the spine into cow. So we tuck the tailbone down, reversing, coming up, pulling through, and again reversing, pulling through, letting the breath guide. One breath, one movement. And one more time. And then we can stay here, alternating shoulders towards the center, just going through that thoracic area a little bit into the ribs. Through the spine, just get a little movement through the upper part of the body. And then we can go ahead, come back up, taking the feet just a little bit wider here. The toes can be pointed forward. We don't have to go too deep. And we're just going to go in circles with the hips, just getting movement into that ball socket, getting some synovial fluid moving in there, helping to lubricate the joints a little bit. So just going in a circular motion. Just like we have a little hula hoop, and then we're going to switch directions. We're going to go the opposite direction here. Just going nice and slow, controlling the movements here. And then we'll go ahead and go into some figure 8 movement. So just going nice and slow again, controlling those movements. And then working on the brain, we're going to go backwards and switch directions in that figure 8 movement. So just going the opposite way of what we just did. And then we can go ahead and come back to that center position. Here we can go ahead and widen out the feet just a little bit. We can take a nice big inhale, lifting through the spine, exhaling, hinging forward, pushing the tailbone out towards the back as we hinge at the hip, dropping the head down towards the floor, releasing the crown of the head to the floor and letting gravity pull on the crown of the head as we feel separation in the vertebrae and the neck. Remembering to breathe. We'll go ahead and bend into that back knee, coming into a side lunge. We can play with that hip a little bit, that hip mobility, by either keeping the toes forward, or we can rotate the toes up to the ceiling and point them up towards the ceiling here. And we are trying to press that heel into the mat in that grounded foot. And we're just going to go ahead and switch sides. Going to the other side, again, we can keep those toes forward, or we can rotate that leg, going a little bit into some different muscles, and then flexing that toe up. And then we can come back to center, dropping the crown of the head back to the floor. Taking a nice long inhale, we can lengthen through the spine. And then as we exhale, hinging forward just a little bit more, we can walk the fingertips towards the back of the mat. Releasing the crown of the head here. And then here we can go ahead and nod our head like we're saying yes. Noticing where gravity pulls on our head. And then we can say no, turning our head from side to side. Releasing tension through the neck and the shoulders. We can go ahead and bend the knees, heel toe, walk the feet inward, hands coming to the thighs, coming all the way up. We'll go ahead. Thank you for your practice.